Dear student, today we will study the experiment of Fabry-Perot et al. Okay, so this is the experimental setup for the experiment of Fabry-Perot et al. Okay, you can see here. Okay, this is a sodium tube. Okay, sodium source. This is a system of two lenses, right? Okay, this is a spectrometer. Okay, collimator, but in this experiment we are not using the collimator. This is a prism table on which I have put a Fabry-Perot et al. This is the Fabry-Perot et al. And this is the collimator, right? Once again I repeat, this is the sodium source. This is a system of two lenses, okay? This is a spectrometer, prism table, you have to put a Fabry-Perot et al. Okay, and this is the telescope of the spectrometer. Collimator we are not using in this experiment. Now, what is a Fabry-Perot et al? This is a Fabry-Perot et al. You cannot see the inside structure, but in Fabry-Perot et al, this Fabry-Perot et al consists to high quality glass plates or quartz plates. So Fabry-Perot et al consists to high quality glass plate or quartz plates EF and GH. You can see in the diagram, EF is one glass plate, GH is the another glass plate. Two glass or quartz plates EF and GH are exactly, the inner surfaces of two glass plates or quartz plates EF and GH are exactly parallel to each other, and the inner surfaces are silvered. What happens? So that when a ray of light is incident on it, it partly reflects and partly transmits. So this is the construction of Fabry-Perot et al. It consists to high quality glass plates or quartz plates EF and GH whose inner surfaces are exactly parallel to each other, right? Okay, so that whenever the ray of light is incident on it, it partly reflects and partly transmits. Okay, this is a broad source of monochromatic light. Okay, so here you can see when a ray of light AB, is incident on plate EF, it partly reflects and partly transmits, right? So because you know very well that when the inner surfaces are silvered, the incident ray partly reflects and partly transmits. So the incident ray AB, okay, it partly reflects and partly transmits. From the other plate GH, again the incident ray is partly reflecting and partly transmitting, right? Okay, so between two plates, the rays are internally, they are this phenomena is known as multiple internal reflection. Okay, so whenever the ray is incident on the plate, it partly reflects and partly transmits. So C1 T1 is the first transmitted ray. Again it reflects from the other plate, it reflects and transmits. This ray again reflects and transmits. This ray again reflects and transmits. Okay, this phenomena is going on. So on the other side, we get a series of transmitted rays. C1 T1 is the first transmitted ray. C2 T2 is the second transmitted ray. C3 T3 is the third transmitted ray. So I think you must understood the theory. Once again, I repeat the construction in short that Fabry-Perot et al. Consists to high quality glass plate or consists of high quality glass plates or quartz plates EF and GH whose inner surfaces are exactly parallel and silvered. So ray of light AB is incident on EF plate, it partly reflects and partly transmits. From plate GH, it again reflects and transmits in the direction C1 T1. This ray again reflects and transmits. Okay, this ray again reflects and transmits in the direction C2 T2. Okay, so we get a series of transmitted rays C1 T1, C2 T2, C3 T3. Okay, which is obtained from the single incident ray AB. So these rays are coherent. So now when this series of parallel transmitted rays C1 T1, C2 T2, C3 T3, okay, are focused at point P with the lens of telescope. Okay, so this is the telescope. Okay, so transmitted rays are entering into the telescope lens. And they are focused at the eyepiece at point P. Okay, so at point P of the eyepiece, there is a superposition of infinite number of these transmitted rays are superposing at point P of the telescope. Okay, and they produce the interference. And due to interference, we are getting this type of circular rings, right? Okay. Now, if what is there between two plates? Between two glass plates, a air film is bounded, right? So there is a thin film of air is formed between two plates EF and GH. Okay, if the thickness of the air film is given to you, you can find the wavelength of unknown light. If the wavelength of unknown light is given to you, you can find the thickness of the air film between two plates. Now in this experiment, wavelength of the light is given to you, so you have to find the thickness of the air film which is formed between two glass plates of the Fabry-Perot et al. Okay, now what is the condition? What is the path difference between consecutive transmitted rays? The path difference between two consecutive transmitted rays is 2t cos theta. is somewhere written here, 2t cos theta, right? So 2t cos theta is the path difference between two consecutive transmitted rays. If 2t cos theta is the path difference between two consecutive transmitted rays, what is the phase difference between two consecutive transmitted rays? It is 2 pi upon lambda into 2t cos theta. So 2t cos theta is the path difference between two consecutive transmitted rays, and 2 pi upon lambda into 2t cos theta is the phase difference between two consecutive transmitted rays. And what is the condition of maxima? Condition of maxima is this: path difference 2t cos theta is equal to n lambda. Okay, that constructive interference will occur, you will get maximum intensity. So condition of maxima is 2t cos theta is equal to n lambda. Now see what you have to do in this experiment. The rays, this is the point source. Point source. The rays of light emitted from the point source, falls on the lens 1. They become parallel. Okay, so if the point source is situated on the focal point of the first lens, the rays of light emitted from the point source will become parallel by lens 1. Okay, now these parallel rays of light are focused on the Fabry-Perot etalon by second lens. Okay, so what is the function of first lens? It makes the incident rays parallel, and the second lens will focus the parallel rays on the Fabry-Perot etalon. You can see here the focusing point. You can show here. See here, aperture. The parallel rays are focused at this point, right? So this is the experimental arrangement, that the point source is used. The rays of light emitted from the point source will become parallel by the lens 1, and the parallel rays are focused at the Fabry-Perot etalon. Now, okay, as I explained you, between two plates of the Fabry-Perot etalon, a multiple internal reflection will occur. Between two plates of the Fabry-Perot etalon, the multiple internal reflection will occur. As a result, we get a series of parallel transmitted rays C1, T1, C2, T2, C3, T, and these transmitted rays are focused at point P by the telescope lens, and they produce the interference, and we get the interference rings. Okay. Now, what you have to do in this experiment? Okay, you have to prepare observation table. Okay, you have to measure the diameter of 10 rings, as you have measured in case of Newton's ring. You have measured the diameter of 10 rings. Similarly, here also you measure the diameter of 10 rings using the spectrometer. Suppose these are the rings. You put your crossbar on the outer surface of the 10th ring and take the left hand side reading. Then put the crossbar on the right hand side surface of the 10th ring and take the reading. Okay, so what you have to do, suppose you are taking the reading of 10th ring. Okay, these are the ring number. You give ring number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. First you put your crossbar on the left hand side of the 10th ring, take the reading. Okay, then put the crossbar on the right hand side of the 10th ring and take the reading. The difference of these two reading, left hand side and right hand side reading, will give the diameter of the 10th ring. Then you put the crossbar on the outer surface, 9th ring, left hand side, you write the reading here. Then put the crossbar on the right hand side of the 9th ring. Okay, the difference of LHS and RHS reading will give the diameter of 9th ring. And finally, put the crossbar on the left hand side of first ring, and then put the crossbar on the right hand side of the first ring. Take the reading of left hand side reading of first ring, right hand side reading of first ring. A difference of the two reading will give the diameter of the first ring. Okay, so you have to measure. These diameters are called angular diameter. The difference of left hand side reading, of the ring and right hand side reading of the ring will give the angular diameter 2 theta m. If you divide this diameter 2 theta m by 2, you will get theta m. Okay, theta m. Okay, and you have to see the cosine of this theta m, because condition you know very well. So what is the condition of maxima? The condition of maxima is 2t cos theta. 2t cos theta is equal to n lambda. That is the condition of maxima. So you take the cosine of this angle theta m. Then what you have to calculation? In calculation, yes, after measuring the diameter of 10 rings, after measuring the diameter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 rings, okay, you have to find the diameter, angular diameter of each ring, then divide it by diameter by 2, you will get theta m, and then see the cos theta m. You have to plot the graph. Okay, along y-axis you have to take cos theta m, along y-axis take cosine of theta m. Okay, along y-axis you take cos theta m, along x-axis take the ring number m of the ring. Okay, you have 10 rings, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, along y-axis you take the cosine of theta m is the diameter of the ring. Okay, you will get a straight line graph. Find the slope of this graph. The slope of this graph will be cos theta m against m, right? So slope of this graph is AB upon BC, or what is AB? That is the difference of cos theta m. Cos theta m. What is BC? That is the difference of ring number, that is m, right? So you plot the graph of cos theta m against ring number m. Plot the graph of cos theta m against ring number m. It will be a straight line graph. To find the slope of this graph, the slope of this graph will be AB upon BC, or cos theta m upon m. Okay. And finally, you have to use the condition. You know the condition, 2t cos theta is equal to m lambda, right? So interference condition is 2t cos theta is equal to m lambda. From 2t cos theta is equal to m lambda or n lambda, we can write lambda upon 2t. 2t cos theta is equal to n lambda is the condition of constructive interference, maxima condition. Okay, from the condition 2t cos theta is equal to m lambda, we have lambda upon 2t. Lambda upon 2t is equal to cos theta upon m. What is cos theta m upon m? This cos theta m upon m. This cos theta m upon m. Cos theta m upon m is nothing but that is the slope of this graph. And in this experiment, the slope is written here. Okay, it is approximately 85 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, so cos theta m upon m is the slope of the graph. Okay, now lambda. If wavelength of the light is given to you, you can find the thickness of the air film formed between two plates. If thickness of the air film is given to you, you can find the wavelength. In this experiment, we will give the wavelength of the yellow light. Wavelength of the sodium light is 5890 angstrom. So wavelength of the yellow light lambda is 5890 angstrom is given to you. Okay, you know the wavelength of yellow light, that is 5890 angstrom. T, that is the thickness of the air film formed between two plates of fabricated film that we want to find out. Slope you know from the graph. You can easily find the thickness of the air film which is bounded between two plates of the fabricated ethanol. Okay, that is approximately of the order of millimeter. Okay, so the purpose of this experiment is to find the thickness of the air film bounded between two plates of the fabricated ethanol. Okay, which is of the order of millimeter. If the thickness is given to you, you can find the unknown wavelength of light using this fabricated ethanol experiment. Thank you so much. Okay, now see in next assignment. I will give you, in assignment I will give you the diameter. Okay, in assignment I will give you the left hand side reading of the rings, okay, and right hand side reading of the ring. You have to find the diameter and then you have to find the value of cos theta m. Then plot the graph of cos theta m upon m, find out the slope, and from the slope you have to find the thickness of the air film between two plates of the fabricated ethanol. Okay, so I will give you the readings of left hand side reading and right hand side reading of the 10 rings. Okay, you have to find out the angular diameter of the ring. From the angular diameter, find out the diameter theta m, find the value of cos theta m, plot the graph of cos theta m against ring number m, find the slope AB upon BC, that will give you the value of cos theta m upon m, and from the value of slope you can find out the thickness of the air film formed between two plates of the fabricated ethanol. Thank you so much. We stop here.